Hey everybody, Mike here. So I want to take a second to go over this POR-15 that I've been using off and on for a handful of years now. Now this is something that I've tried several different brands over the years. I wanted to see kind of which one was going to last the longest, especially if you live in a Midwest state and you're applying this on like something like a vehicle chassis frame to protect from rust or from it further rusting as well. Now, as I mentioned, I live in the Midwest. We put a lot of salt on our roads, and then to add insult to injury, I also use my vehicle to plow snow with in the winter as well. With that being said, the frame's taken a beating over the years. I've went through and actually gone through and redone that frame a few times now. I hate to say that with my vehicle being a 2007, I wasn't the best at keeping up with that kind of maintenance there when I first got started. But since then, I've redone the frame, and I've been doing my best to keep up with that every couple of years, making sure if I've got any problem areas to go through and readdress those. Now, as I've mentioned, I've used a couple different brands now, and what I found, some of the other competitors don't have the adhesion or the longevity that the POR-15 has. I found myself going through and touching up parts of the frame that I use different brands on a lot more frequently. Once I've applied the POR-15, I usually don't have to go back and reapply in the future. So with that being said, let's talk about how you prep your surface a little quick to make sure you're getting the ultimate adhesion possible when it comes to putting this product on. Now, while this product is able to be applied directly over rust, you do want to go ahead and knock off anything that's loose or got a lot of buildup on it. And that's simply done by just taking like a wire brush or even a wire wheel on a grinder and just kind of scuffing that surface down and getting it closer to bare metal. Once you do that, you're going to follow it up with a good degreaser. Now, POR-15 does have their own products that you can go through and purchase, but any good quality degreaser is going to get the job done. Once you've got it nice, clean, and degreased, you'll follow that up with a metal prep. Now, that's just going to kind of help promote adhesion right before you put the product on. Now, once you get your surface prepped, you're ready to apply your product. There's two different ways to do this. I've only done one of the two ways. So typically what I do is once I get my surface prepped, I just take a brush and I go through and I brush the surface down and get that how I want it. You can run this through a spray gun though. I personally have not done that, so I'm not going to be the best at telling you the proper way to do that. I have heard that you get better results if you thin the product down, but I also don't know what that does to the product in terms of adhesion and longevity. Do your research and due diligence on that to see which way is going to be best for you. What I will say is if you do use a brush, I have found that I do see some of those brush marks in the surface when I paint this on. So if that's something that bothers you, that might be another thing that you want to consider as well. Now when you get this thing sent to you, this is the can you'll see here. Now this is a 1-quart can. They do have this in other different sizes. They have these little pins on the top here that you remove. That's just to help keep the lid in place while it's shipping. So these pop off just pretty simply with a screwdriver, and then you can go through and actually open up your can here and get that thing ready to go. Now what I have found is if you don't use the whole can in one sitting, you can go through and open this lid up, and especially if it's in a short time frame. But what I found is if I've got any of this material on the lid itself and then I put the lid back on, I have a really hard time getting this lid back off several months later, and or I've actually had where the can's dried itself up. So either try to keep your can clean while you're applying this product, or just plan on just being like a 1 or maybe 2 or 3 time use, at least in my opinion. So when you get this can open, this is what you're left with here. Now keep in mind, this is something that's meant to go somewhere where it's not going to be in direct sunlight. It doesn't have a lot of UV protection, but that's not the end of the world. Most of the time we're putting this on something like a vehicle chassis where it's not going to see the direct sunlight, so you're okay with just applying this like it is. If you are going to put this somewhere where it's actually going to see a lot more sunlight, they do have a top coating that you can apply over the top of this. So you would apply this first, then go back and put a second or third coat of that top coating on, and that's going to have the UV protection that you're going to need for this product to be the last for years to come. Also keep in mind, this stuff actually goes a really long way. So this one can right here, especially if you've already done something in the past, if you're worried that you're not going to use the whole can and it might be wasted, they do sell smaller cans that you can pick up if you're just doing touch-up spots, and they also carry this up into like gallon sizes as well if you're doing a lot of surface area. Now a lot of us are probably using this for like vehicle chassis, but keep in mind this can be used on any metal surface, so you can actually put this on like a diamond plated surface or cast iron pipes or steel pipes, things of that nature, just anywhere you want to prevent rust, keep that metal surface looking nice for years to come. But like I've already mentioned, this POR-15 is my favorite product by far. I've used several different competitors over the years. They just don't hold up to the harsh environments I put my stuff through like this POR-15 does. So in my opinion, I'd rather pay a little bit more money and get a product that I know is going to last for years to come than save a few bucks on something that's going to be a little bit more inferior product. So hopefully that was somewhat helpful for you and make a decision as to whether POR-15 might be right for you or not in your project. That's all I've got for you though. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.